Well, today's historic Supreme Court decision comes just 2 days before the 44th anniversary of the so-called, well, the Stonewall riots. They weren't so-called, but they're named after a big riot up here about equal rights in New York City down in the Village, which gay rights advocates say began the movement for gay rights in this country. It also appears today another monumental Supreme Court decision, the Lawrence versus Texas case, which struck down those anti-sodomy laws. I've talked about them a number of times. Well, the gay rights movement has made enormous gains in recent years, and today's decision is, of course, the milestone, showing just how far it has come. Jared Polis is a Democratic member of the United States Congress from Colorado, and Richard Socarides is an old pal of mine. He was a gay rights advisor to the great Bill Clinton when he was president. Congressman, I guess very few people know what it's like to run for Congress when you're openly gay, and now to be there at the time that the federal government, which you were a representative to, has now officially not just legalized gay marriage, same-sex marriage, but has formalized its regularity, if you will, made it equal and very much the same thing as straight marriage in terms of its authenticity, its reality. It's quite, to me, it's a staggering decision today.
You know, as you know, the Capitol and Supreme Court are across kind of a lawn, and I can tell you there's a lot more happening on the Supreme Court side than the Capitol side for equal rights. So I was over there this morning, thousands of people on the steps of the Supreme Court, gazing up at those columns, and really excited that our relationships of gay and lesbian Americans in fully committed relationships will now receive recognition.
Did you think when you were growing up, or even more recently as you ran for Congress, did you see the United States Constitution on your side?
You know, you mentioned Stonewall, and frankly, my generation had it a lot easier than the generation ahead of me, the pre-Stonewall generation. But I can tell you today's kids growing up have it a lot different than even I did. I mean, in schools across our country, taking a same-sex date to prom, knowing that you can marry the person you love. You know, it's amazing the speed that we've made progress. The American people are a good people, and they recognize loving relationships in all their forms. And today's Supreme Court decision was an important step in the right direction.
Richard, you were there with Bill Clinton, and we all have certainly mixed views about what happened back in the 90s, but we had a bill signed by the president called the Defense of Marriage Act, which was anti-gay marriage. You were there, now you're here. Bill Clinton now celebrates what the court decision did today in knocking down what he had signed, what he signed.
Yeah.
How do you put all that together?
Well, the first thing I want to say about the decision is I think it's the language in the decision is very affirming, and it really reflects the cultural change that we've seen in the 17 years since Bill Clinton was president. You know, he has written about it, he's talked about it. He had that Washington Post op-ed in which he asked the court to overturn DOMA. I mean, I think that he's expressed a lot of regret. You know, I think that today...
Well, regret's not... Is regret the right word, or did he do what he had to do? You know, I am an understanding person about politics, you know, and I understand at the time the country wasn't there.
Yeah.
Why should the president be there? Let me show you through a number, though, that shows the country is there. Look at this number here right now. Back in 2004, and you were well into this fight before that, it was 30% of the country. Less than a third supported gay marriage, straight, same sex. Then in 2009, it left about 25%. It went to 41. And then it went another 25% and went to 53.
Yeah.
And so it's almost double where it was in this century.
Well, that is why the ruling today is possible, is because you see public opinion shifting, and that is also why
do you feel that opinion?
I feel it around you. I feel it around myself. I feel it in in popular culture, on TV, in the news, in politics. We had a record number of LGBT Americans elected to Congress. I mean, times are really changing, but it's because people have come out. You know, it's because now people know gay people as their friends, as their neighbors, as their kids, as their parents. It's because gay people have come out that the legal moment is possible because of the cultural moment.
I think it's also because people run for office now openly. Congressman, tell me, is this now the wall? Has it gone down in Colorado as it has in, say, Massachusetts or Rhode Island?
You know, it's interesting, and my sexual orientation's never been an issue in running for office. There's 6 openly gay members of the House, and you know what? None of them come from what we might call gay mecca districts like San Francisco. Yeah. They're just from regular suburban districts, Riverside, California, Madison, Wisconsin, the suburbs of New York City. I'm from the suburbs of Denver. You know, and it's never been an issue on the campaign trail. People care about what we're going to do for their country.
Let's talk about reality for 1 minute here. It seems like young gay people, when they're late teens, they get mobile. They can pick a college if they've got the money to do it. They can pick where they want to live. They go to the cities. They go to Atlanta. They go to Chapel Hill, maybe. They go to Washington, right? They don't want to stay out in the rural areas. Is that going to be a reality that we live with for a long time?
Well, or they go to the big cities.
Yeah.
But everything has changed. I want to tell you, when I was in law school, I never thought I could run for office because I was a gay person. You know, I thought that maybe I could serve in appointed office, maybe I could serve behind the scenes, but I never thought I could run for Congress. I mean, it is a totally new day.
We got a guy here who did and won. Thank you, Jared Polis, U.S. Congressman from the suburbs of Denver. Thanks for joining us. And Richard Socarides, who's been in this fight longer than a lot of you have been alive. This guy's been in a long time. Anyway, up next, the trial of George Zimmerman.